The courtroom air hung thick with the stale scent of polished wood and faded hopes, a suffocating blend that clawed at my throat as the judge's gavel cracked down like a final heartbeat. Divorce granted, he intoned, his voice flat and mechanical, sealing the end of 12 years with Elena. I sat there, frozen, my fingers digging into the armrest until my knuckles blanched white, watching her across the aisle, her posture straight, her eyes averted, a ghost of the woman who'd once whispered eternal vows into my ear under a canopy of stars. But it was the faint smile tugging at her lips that gutted me, a secret curve that screamed she was already gone, already dreaming of someone else. 7 days later, the news hit like a freight train. She'd married him, her dream man, and as I stared at the wedding photo splashed across social media, her in white, him grinning like he'd won the lottery, something inside me shattered, not with jealousy, but with a gnawing dread that this fairy tale was built on lies I'd helped bury. I told myself it was over. Let her go, Mark. I repeated in the mirror each morning, splashing cold water on my face to wash away the red-rimmed eyes from sleepless nights. The house we'd shared felt like a tomb now, echoes of her laughter bouncing off empty walls, the faint lavender scent of her perfume lingering in the closets like a taunt. Work became my refuge, burying myself in spreadsheets and client calls at the advertising firm, but even there, doubts crept in. Why had she pushed for the divorce so suddenly? We'd argued, sure, about money, about my long hours, about the child we never had, but nothing catastrophic. Or so I'd thought. Late one evening, scrolling mindlessly through old emails to distract from the ache in my chest, I stumbled on a forwarded message from her account, dated months before a split. Can't wait to see you again. It read, from an unfamiliar address. Email protected. My heart stuttered. A typo? A friend? I rationalized it away, slamming the laptop shut, but the seed was planted, sprouting tendrils of suspicion that twisted through my days. Elena and I had met in college, two ambitious souls colliding in a philosophy class debate on fate versus free will. She'd argued for destiny with fiery passion, her dark curls bouncing as she gestured, and I'd fallen hard, convinced she was mine. Our marriage had been a whirlwind of shared dreams, traveling Europe on a shoestring, building our careers side by side. But cracks appeared slowly, like hairline fractures in glass. She'd started traveling more for her graphic design job, coming home with stories that felt rehearsed, her phone buzzing at odd hours. Just a client, she'd say, flashing that disarming smile. I believed her because doubting felt like betrayal. Now, alone in my apartment, I poured a whiskey, the burn matching the fire in my gut. Who was this dream man? Alex. I'd met him once at a company party, a charming exec with slick hair and a handshake that lingered too long on her arm. Harmless flirtation, I'd thought. But the wedding announcement burned that illusion away. The first red flag resurfaced in fragments. A week after the divorce papers, I'd found a receipt in her abandoned dresser drawer for a hotel in the city, 2 nights, king bed. Business trip, she claimed when I confronted her months earlier, her voice steady but her eyes darting to the floor. I let it go, chalking it up to paranoia from my own father's infidelity, scarring my trust. But now, with her remarried so fast, the pieces mocked me. I paced the living room, the carpet muffling my footsteps, rain pattering against the windows like accusatory whispers. Should I reach out? Congratulate her? No, that would be masochistic. Instead, I dug deeper, my fingers flying over the keyboard in a haze of midnight oil. Social media profiles yielded little. Alex's feed was pristine, all adventure photos and motivational quotes. But mutual friend, Sarah, messaged me unprompted. Hey, Mark. Heard about Elena. You okay? It's weird how quick it was. Her hesitation hung in the digital air, and when I pressed, she spilled. I saw them together last year. At a bar. Looked cozy. I didn't want to stir trouble. Heartbreak crashed over me like a wave, cold and relentless, dragging me under. Confusion swirled. Had our love been a lie? Anger simmered, hot and bitter, aimed at her, at him, at myself for being blind. But denial clung hardest. Maybe it was innocent, a friendship that bloomed after our marriage wilted. I replayed our last fight in my mind, her tears genuine as she said, "We're just not happy anymore, Mark. I need more." More what? More excitement? More lies? Guilt gnawed at me too. Had my absences pushed her away? I'd prioritize promotions over date nights, assuming she'd wait. Shattered trust left me hollow, questioning every memory. Was that weekend she visited her sister really a rendezvous? The moral conflict tore at me. Confront her and risk looking pathetic, or swallow the pain and move on. Days blurred into a tense vigil. I avoided mutual gatherings, but fate, or cruelty, intervened at a coffee shop downtown. There she was, Elena, radiant in a sundress, arm linked with Alex, laughing at something he said. The aroma of fresh brews turned sour in my nostrils as I ducked behind a display, heart pounding like a trapped animal. Their voices carried. "Can't believe we're finally here," Alex murmured, his tone intimate, possessive. After all those secret trips, her giggle faltered, a microsecond of unease that I caught like a lifeline. Secret trips? My blood ran cold. I tailed them discreetly, the city's bustle a chaotic soundtrack to my unraveling. Horns blaring, pedestrians jostling, the metallic tang of exhaust mirroring my metallic taste of fear. That night, fueled by a cocktail of rage and desperation, I hacked in her old email. Guilt be damned. Using the password she hadn't changed. Messages flooded the screen, a digital affair laid bare. "Miss you already," from Alex, months before our divorce. "Our little escapes keep me sane." Her replies, "Love you more than I should." Mark suspects nothing. The words blurred through tears, each one a dagger, twisting deeper. But buried deeper was the bombshell. Attachments of financial statements, transfers from our joint account to his. Thousands siphoned off, disguised as expenses. Confusion peaked. Infidelity was bad enough, but theft? My mind raced. Was this embezzlement? Had she married him for love, or to cover tracks? Confrontation came unbidden. She called me 2 days later, voice trembling. "Mark, we need to talk." We met at a park bench, autumn leaves crunching underfoot, the crisp air heavy with unspoken accusations. "Alex, he's not who I thought," she confessed, her eyes rimmed with regret. He pushed for the quick, waiting to lock in alimony or something. Wait, no. Her words tumbled out, fragmented. I found messages on his phone. He's married, has been the whole time, to someone else. The irony hit like a slap. Her dream man, a bigger liar than she'd become. But as she sobbed, begging forgiveness, my anger fractured. "Why, Elena? Why us?" I demanded, voice raw. "Because I was lost," she whispered, gripping my hand. "You were always working, and he made me feel alive. But it was all fake. He used me to hide his own mess, debts, affairs. And now, I'm pregnant, with his child." The twist exploded in my chest. Not just betrayal, but a web of deceptions entangling us all. Shattered, I pulled away, love warring with revulsion. "You destroyed us for this." She nodded, guilt etching lines on her face. In that moment, I saw her complexity, not a villain, but a woman chasing illusions, blinded by her own voids. Walking away, the sun dipping low, casting long shadows, I felt a hollow release. Heartbreak lingered, but so did clarity. Trust might rebuild elsewhere, but ours was ash. The truth she'd faced? It wasn't just his lies, it was the mirror of her own. And as I vanished into the crowd, the weight lifted slightly, leaving